Good afternoon, everybody. Jim here with you again for our next episode of the Covidevotional. So, have you been counting the days? I know that some of you have, and others have been too busy to do so. By my count, we're on day 26 of this shelter-at-home journey. During this time, we've had new experiences, some of them good, some of them bad, and some of them, as a good friend of mine put it this morning, just kind of whatever. We know that the world we live in is now different. Things have changed, and those changes aren't done happening. As we've noted earlier, some of the changes that we're making are by choice, others out of necessity. Both are required to continue to do life in a way that is as normal as possible. This afternoon, I want to take us to the end, the time when this journey that we're currently on has passed. I know I'm looking forward to it as much as you are. I think we're all chomping at the bit to get back to life as normal, though I'm pretty sure the new normal will be different in some ways than was the old normal. This fact may not necessarily be a bad thing. Over the course of this journey, I've watched social media and the interactions that people have been posting that they've had with their families, looking at ways that families are not only coping with this change that has been thrust upon them, but also how they're thriving in spite of it, and in some situations, thriving simply because of it. This past year, I was able to participate in an excellent leadership training program that's offered by the Boy Scouts of America. It's called Wood Badge, and it was truly one of the best experiences of my life. And even though specifically designed to help the participants become better scout leaders, I found that the proper application of the principles that we learned in the program are applicable to all areas of life. And one of the things that we learned in this program was to effectively reflect on our experiences and on the projects that we've taken part in, using a threefold method of evaluation. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's called start doing, stop doing, keep doing. Now, while I'd used this formula before, it's taken on a whole new meaning for me over this past month. There are things that I thought were really, really important that I've discovered aren't so important, and other things that I didn't place much value on that turned out to be extremely valuable and in some cases absolutely necessary for living life at this point in time. As we go through this time, we should evaluate what we do in real time. When we complete this journey, we should evaluate where we've come from, what we did, and I believe that doing so can be life-changing in a positive way. These actions aren't only practical, they're biblical. And in fact, when we look at the Bible, I want to go to Psalm 90, verse 12. Psalm 90, verse 12, we read these words, "So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom." This is not to count how many days we have lived, nor is it a call to try to figure out how many days that we have, but rather that God would teach us to number our days as if the present day was the last one that we'd have, so that we would prioritize those things that really matter. Things that I've discovered that really matter, things such as faith and family and friends and the fellowship that we all miss so dearly. I know my alliteration is perhaps a bit much, but hey, it's me. What do you expect? I always use alliteration. Ultimately, this is about what we want to keep and what we want to leave behind. Paul, in his letter to the church in Ephesus, Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 and 16, we read these words, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of your time, because the days are evil." What that passage is talking about there, and some of your translations reflect this, is this idea of redeeming our time, making the most of it. During such evaluation puts us on the path to redeeming our time. That in turn causes us to take notice of the goodness and the faithfulness of God, which is with us in all places at all times. One final thought this afternoon is simply this. In the rush to return to normal, which we're all making, use this time to consider what parts of normal are worth rushing back to. Just remember, guys, God loves you, and I love you too. Until next time, we'll see you later.